So our topic is discovering the historical criticism. So we're going to discuss the internal criticism and external criticism. So let's proceed first to the internal criticism.
What is external criticism? The problem of authenticity. Authenticity states that something is legitimate and true.
To spot fabricated, forged fake documents is an example of external criticism. Stopping, Spotting fabricated, forged, or fake documents can be a crucial skill in various professional fields, including law enforcement, legal work, and financial institutions. For example, for checking some documents, you need to check for watermarks and security features. Many official documents, such as currency, passports, and certificates, have watermarks and other security features. Dapat natin siya ma-familiarize para aware ta kung asa gikan ang atohang gibasa na documents. You need to pay attention to the quality and texture of the paper. Use authentic documents often have distinct paper types, and forgers may use cheaper or different materials. Kaya mga original na mga documents is ano jud siya, like tanawon pa lang nimo makaingon jud ang original na, like for example PSA, ma ma maingon na to kung peke ang PSA if wala siya tatak sa kilid na katong Philippines authorized something. Mura na mga example sa kuan spot fabricate forge. Then next, to distinguish a hoax or mispresentation. Distinguishing a hoax or mispresentation from genuine information can be challenging, especially in the age of misinformation and disinformation. The example of this is like verify the source. You need to start by examining the source of the information. Is it a reputable, known, and credible source? Be cautious of information from obscure or biased sources. And to confirm the accuracy of information, cross-reference it with multiple reliable source. If multiple credible source corroborate the information, it's more likely to be accurate. Like if makita na kag anang example nga nang kita na kag information, dapat i-double check pa jud nimo ang source kay daghang mga documents karon nga mga like buhat lang nila, which is nga mas wala sila karapatan nga mas dili gud mao pero ilang ginapugos nga mao daw kunuhay. Dapat if makita kang information, dapat najud kay sources, like possible mga daghang sources kay para mas makapani-paniwala jud ang imong i-spread nga information. Like example good, like sa Facebook na nag-post nga dahil lang anang mga friend daw kay namatay. Di ba dili mo jud ka siyempre mato jud kag mga comments na dinita ka nga namatay. Then kung dili pa jud ka mo to, dapat moadto pa jud ka sa igsoon ba or kanang sa iyang mga family or friends para makabalo ka kung tinud ba to. So need jud nato source guys kung maka-receive tag mga information. So that mao lang to.
The first step to test a source is to determine the date of document to see whether it is anachronistic. Anachronism means out of time or order, something that could not have been there at a particular time. It could be a person, thing, or idea placed in a wrong time. Being able to spot anachronism is important because it helps us test the reliability of a source. If a source is unreliable, then we probably should not use it. The second step is to determine the author's handwriting, signature, or seal. We can compare the handwriting of particular author to his other writings. The third test in determining the authenticity of the source is by looking for the anachronistic style. In this test, we will examine idiomatic expression or the orthography used in the documents. An idiom is an expression, word, or phrase that has figurative meaning conventionally understood by native speakers. Orthography is a set of conventions for writing a language. It includes norms of spelling, hyphenation, capitalization, word breaks, emphasis, and punctuation.
Let's proceed to the internal criticism. So what is internal criticism? So internal criticism is concerned more on the meaning and accuracy of the statements. So for some example, ang primary sources. So, tanawon na to diri ang content or ilang ginaingon kung authentic ba or can be checked out as a trustworthy. So, tanawon po na to if ang sources ba kay reliable by correctly interpreting the content of the document. So, natanaw jud nila mismo ang content sa documents.
Credibility. The problem of credibility. Historians do not only synthesize results, but also do analysis of the document's credibility. There should be a reliable sources that provide information that one can believe to be true. In here, we should check the credibility of the document to see whether the contents given in it are believable or not. This is done because we do not have adequate knowledge of the given situation. Credibility is defined as the quality or power of inspiring belief. Ibig sabihin ay kailangan suriin at tignan ang kredibilidad ng mismong source o dokumento. Kailangan na mag-doubt, patunayan at pag-isipan ng mabuti kung totoo ba o hindi ang mga storya. On the other hand, any sources collected should be exposed to both external and internal criticism. The authenticity of the information is determined by external criticism, while credibility is built by internal criticism. They are both needed for historical research. Relevant particulars in the document. Is it credible? This means to determine the accuracy and worth of documents. Tignan kung saan nanggaling, kanino manggaling, kailan sinulat, kung sino ang sumulat, sino ang pinagtutungkulan sa sulat. Alamin kung saan nahukay ang ebidensya at kung mataas ang koneksyon sa pinagtutungkulan. This is the process where we usually assess the literal meaning of the text and the real meaning of statements by asking what does the statement say and then what's the point the author is making in the statement. We will soon discover that there is more meaning to the information. A lack of source criticism can leave readers and viewers misinformed, leading them to draw incorrect conclusions based on a flawed data.
Very similar, appearing to be true or real, probable, having the same appearance of truth, likely. Very similar overview in Philippine history. The term very similar refers to something that is true to life or reality, meaning it closely resembles or is similar to actual events, situations, or experiences. In the context of reading or studying Philippine history, very similar would imply that the historical accounts, narratives, or readings are accurate, authentic, and true to the actual events that occurred in the history of the Philippines. It suggests that the historical information is based on credible sources and research, providing an accurate portrayal of the past. In the study of history, it is essential to rely on very similar sources and readings to gain a genuine understanding of the past and its impact on the present and future. Scholars and historians strive to ensure that their interpretations and narratives of history are as close to the truth as possible by using reliable evidence and rigorous research methods. Examples of very similar in the readings of Philippine history. Spanish colonization. The Philippines was under Spanish colonial rule for over 300 years, with significant social, political, and economic impacts on the Filipino people. The Katipunan, a secret revolutionary society called the Katipunan, led by figures like Andres Bonifacio and Emilio Aguinaldo, was established to fight for Philippine independence. The organization's objective was to liberate the Philippines from Spanish oppression. The Cry of Pugadlawin. The revolution began in earnest with the Cry of Pugadlawin on August 23, 1896. Filipinos stored their cerulas as a sign of defiance and declared their opposition to Spanish rule. Philippine Revolution. The Philippine Revolution ensued, marked by a series of battles, skirmishes, and negotiations between Filipino revolutionaries and Spanish forces. Declaration of Independence. On June 12, 1898, in Kawit, Cavite, Emilio Aguinaldo proclaimed the Philippine Declaration of Independence, asserting the country's sovereignty. Filipino-American War. Following the Declaration of Independence, the Philippines faced the challenge of defending its sovereignty against the United States, leading to the Filipino-American War in 1899. Colonial transition. The Philippines transitioned from Spanish colonial rule to American colonial rule in 1898 as a result of the Treaty of Paris. Conclusion. This scenario is very similar because it closely aligns with the historical events that took place during the Philippine Revolution against Spanish colonial rule, which ultimately shaped the country's path toward independence and its subsequent colonial experiences under American rule. It's a crucial chapter in Philippine history that is well documented and studied by historians and scholars.
So that's all, guys. I hope you learned something. Once again, we are group 4, and bye bye.